You think you've heard all of Sherlock Holmes's cases, but some were buried, locked away, never meant for the world to know. Not every mystery made it to the public. Not every story ended with justice. Some were so disturbing that even Holmes himself chose silence. Tonight, we open one of those forgotten files. A case whispered about in shadows. A case that should never have been found. Among the countless tales of Sherlock Holmes, there are whispers of a case deliberately erased from history, not lost, but hidden. For years, it remained sealed away, until a dusty, forgotten file resurfaced in a private collection. Its pages were fragile, its ink fading. Yet the story it carried was darker than anything Watson ever published. This is that file. The case Holmes never wanted the world to read. London, late 1800s. The streets swallowed in thick, suffocating fog. That night, a man walked home and was never seen again. No struggle, no witnesses, just silence. Dr. Watson's private diary records the unease that followed. Entries filled with restless nights, strange sounds at Baker Street, and Holmes himself pacing long after midnight. Something about this disappearance was different, and it haunted them both. One evening, Holmes received an envelope with no return address. Inside, only a blank sheet of paper. At first it seemed meaningless, but when held close to the candles, faint words began to bleed through the page. "We remember." The message was short but chilling. Holmes said nothing. He only folded the letter carefully and locked it away in his desk. Inside the crumbling building, silence hung heavy until it broke. Holmes stopped. Watson froze. From the darkness, voices began to whisper their names, first softly, then louder, echoing through the halls. They followed the sound to a locked door. Forcing it open, they stepped into a hidden room. The walls were lined with tall, cracked mirrors. In the center, rows of empty chairs, as if an audience had been waiting. And in those mirrors, they swore they saw shadows move, though the room was empty. Watson's diary closes the account with a final, unsettling note. He writes that Holmes never spoke of the case again. Not to him, not to Scotland Yard, not to anyone. The last words in the diary are brief, but haunting. It wasn't their case. It was ours. And then, silence. No follow-up, no explanation, just a missing file, a locked room of mirrors, and the memory of voices that should never have known their names. And so, the file ends, abruptly, without answers. If this story is true, how many more cases did they keep hidden from us? How many more secrets were locked away in Baker Street, never meant for the world to know? Perhaps some mysteries were never solved, because we were never supposed to hear them.